Hey friends, I am trying to bring to you the lovely how do I use OneNote thing and for law school. So you're about to see, I'm sharing my screen here. Here, that way maybe I can act like I'm looking at y'all. There you go. Okay. Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm a law student. I'm less than a month away from being 52 years old at this point. And when I decided I was going to go to law school, there were two things I was concerned about. One was just the difference in the writing style and stuff once you get into law school versus just personal writing and even, business writing or any way that you would write outside of the law context. I was concerned about getting my writing style kind of adapted to law school. And I'd worked so hard on figuring out how to do citations and everything in undergrad after being out of school for so many years, for almost 30 years by the time I went back and finished my undergrad. And then lo and behold, here I end up in law school and we have a whole new format of citations. That's for another day. We're not going to talk about that today. As a matter of fact, there's plenty of helps once you get to law school for all of that. You're going to take an entire course, usually a year long, of legal research and writing, where whatever law school you get into and wherever you go, they're going to teach you how to write. So, and anything you could do on that subject before you get there, like available little seminars or books that you may want to buy about how to do legal writing, that would be helpful before you get into law school. All right. As you can see, all the different little questions are here. You've seen. This is what I've been writing down and keeping track of from questions that come into me to YouTube. But here we'll go back. So this is how I organize my law school life and my personal life, for that matter. As you can see, I have right over here where I have a notebook that I have titled personal notes. And underneath that, I have all kinds of things that are personal. But you'll see down the list, I've got con law. These are classes that I'm taking this semester. Con law, property 2, professional responsibility, secure transactions, a class called phases of criminal advocacy, and then trial advocacy. I actually had another class that I took as an intersession. It was a criminal litigation drafting class. And just for funsies, there we go. I can go up here to file, open notebook, and there it is, criminal litigation drafting. I can go ahead and open it and voila, it's going to start syncing and then it'll be in that list as well. All of this OneNote is synced with OneDrive. This is the biggest wonderful thing. I personally, in my personal life, I have my entire life backed up to Dropbox. I have, I don't know, however many terabytes worth of memory that I pay for monthly on Dropbox, and I have for a long time. It's just a way of saving, preserving everything from the different businesses that I have in my life and things that I've done, and just even personal stuff. Every picture I take on my phone backs up to my Dropbox. But in my law school universe, everything kind of functions in OneDrive. That's how my law school itself does. And all of my Microsoft products are synced with that OneDrive. And so I use it. Anything that I download onto my computer, I have an external hard drive that I'm saving some things to as well. But for now, I live off of OneDrive. Okay. So I choose to, here, we'll go to this criminal litigation drafting class since that's something that's already done. I created these different sections. Now, this particular class is a different structure than how I do my others. I'll show you. But I just went in, created, because that class was 4 days. I gave day 1, day 2, day 3 worth of information. You can see here. Here, let me move this down. Yeah, move it just for the sake of those things being in order. So before I started the class, the professor sent a syllabus. They sent some resources, things like that. And you can see, so under that syllabus, I went in and I also created pages. Now, if you've never worked in OneNote before, a OneNote page goes deep and wide as far as you can imagine. Think of it as a blank slate and not just as a single page. You can drop whatever you want to in these particular pages. As you can see here, sorry, I was trying to move my little video self again around. So I could drop things all over in this space, but how I organize it, you can go down and add different pages. These are some notes that I took and then some links they gave me. You can see I name these. I'm going to switch to another class and show you how I do the typical class. That criminal litigation drafting class that I just showed you, we had some special speakers. And so I labeled sections by those special speakers and then put different bits of information that they gave us in there. The great thing about this is I will forever have access to this, not just through OneNote, but because it's all synced to that OneDrive, I can go back and get to it. All right, let's go to one of my regular classes, one of my doctrinal classes. Let's go. I was just in property. Now let's go to con law. This con law is a good one. Okay, so the way I structure mine, when I first set up a class, I do a section for the syllabus. And as you can see, this one's labeled Langdale. Every class is every school has different things, and maybe they don't call them Langdales, but there's a program called Langdales, and it does happen in other law schools besides mine. And the Langdale program is when they're only offered in like the first 3 semester courses, what we would call the basics for law school. And it's usually the person who's CALI'd, who's got the top grade in a particular class. Let's take property. Let's say it's the property 1 class. The person who made the top grade in property 1 class, that professor can choose them to be a Langdale. And then the next year, the next time they're teaching property, that class, they get a Langdale that offers once a week for, I think it's like an 8-week period. You get a 1-hour course. You get a 1-hour class with this Langdale. And the purpose of that is you get to meet with someone who's taken that class before, who's had that professor before, and they go through the material again in a much more abbreviated way. A lot of times they're giving you helps with how to do your outline or multiple choice questions or essay questions, showing you how to answer an essay question. And my torts Langdale was incredible with that. Torts are personal harms. I am forever grateful for the Langdale program. So in these classes, I create a section for Langdales, and then like my Langdale this semester for con law is on a Zoom. So I have a Zoom link there. This week 3 needs to go down here. But as you can see, you can create under these pages, you can create sub pages. So in week 1, I actually didn't put anything there, but I went through and created the sub pages of the things that we went over and was able to insert all that information. This is a master Kickstarter thing. I was taking screenshots of what the Langdale did because I wanted to be able to reference it instead of waiting for the email that the Langdale was sending us. And that's this, as you can see here, this is a screenshot that I've inserted in there, and it's a way to answer questions, to do text, precedents, structure, history, consequences, values, and case example. Anyway, so, and then I can, as you can see right there, I just diminished it. So that is one thing. So I have syllabus in a section, Langdale. I have outline because one of the big things is that you need to be creating outlines for each one of your classes. Sometimes that means going through just the table of contents of a class, and that can be your structure for your outline. And as you take notes through the semester, you fill that in. A lot of times I look for an outline from someone who's taken that class, who made a really good grade, and I get a copy of that outline and may use that as my starting structure. And then I create my own notes. It just depends. I went through, that's what this is. Like, I got some copies of someone's notes from another class, not my professor, but I love finding where someone else already has structure for something, and I can go through and use that as a guide for mine, or because I've taken my own notes, you know, they may differ a little bit from what you see here on the screen. But anyway, so I create these pages for this. But as you can see, I go through my starting template for a class. When I'm starting a new class, I go week 1, week 2, week 3. I know there's 15 weeks. Week 15 is usually the exam review week. So there's not a lot there. If I've got finals prep stuff, I create one. This particular class, the professor is sending us sample questions that help us know how she words questions. And a lot of times we go over them in class, that kind of thing. So I created a section for that. I very well could have put that up in my outline section or something like that. But anyway, I do week 1 through 15. You'll notice here I did a midterm week. A midterm section. Let me see. This is a good way to look. So for the midterm, my professor she had these PowerPoints, and I'm going to double click on that. That will open up the PowerPoint itself. I can look at it as a PDF, pardon me, or I can insert as a printout. Let me see if I've got one saved on here for y'all. No, I think I just deleted some of them. Man, I should have prepared better for this for y'all. Big picture, maybe that one. Okay. I'm going to go to something that doesn't matter. Let's go to my personal notes page. I'm going to add a section, and it's just going to be sample. Oh, if you forget to label the section, you can rename the section. Oh dear, that's not what I meant. Y'all, I'm planning to go to Prague. That's what you're seeing right there. Let's add a section. That's what I wanted to do. We're going to call that sample. And who knows, but I'm going to name this. You know what? I'm going to show you this. Okay. Sometimes you can not name the page, and it'll automatically populate once you insert something. I will go to just file, and I'm going to upload a file, open it, and then it gives me the option. I can upload it to OneDrive and insert a link. That means I'm really just going to the OneDrive, and all you're going to see here on this page is a link, or I can insert as an attachment or insert as a printout. When I insert as a printout, it does still upload to OneDrive. So let's insert this as a printout. That was a PowerPoint. If you did not notice, it was a file that was a PowerPoint. And let's see, it's converting it to a PDF, and it's going to insert these PowerPoints. Oh my goodness, why is it taking so long? There you go. So it's inserting each one of those PowerPoint pages for me. Okay, this was from ConLaw. I didn't know what I was looking at, but there you go. So it's inserted each one of those pages for me to see. I'm just going to make that smaller so you can see that there. But I still have the actual PowerPoint there, and a PDF if I just want to open up and look at the PDF. So that shows you how easy it is to save your stuff there. We're going to go back to, I was working in property. All right. So I just got out of property class. It is Monday, October. I don't know why that says. That's funny. Thursday. That's funny. That is not today's date. It is Monday, October 16. These are the notes that I just took in class. These are notes that are going to get put over into my outline. My professor, when I didn't put the full question in there, but I'll go back and fill that in. This is where I put case briefs. So I do a page just for each case brief that goes with that particular class. We did get through Miller. Anyway, so that was Monday. And then Wednesday, I have Wednesday's assignment. Those are the pages I need to read. Obviously, I haven't done anything else on Wednesday's class, but I will go through the reading, find any cases that I need to do a brief on, and I will drop those right over here, as you can see where my cursor is, and I'll drop cases case briefs down in there so I can reference them easily. That's really it. You can see here all the notes. I take the notes for that particular class, and then I take all this information, combine it into the outline. But I just like having these separate weeks. Some people don't do it, but I like to go through, and I like having each one of these weeks there. I go ahead and I drop in the assignment. I get the assignments from the syllabus. I have a little format here for a little table for doing case briefs, although I've been doing the shortcut version of it lately, just doing Quimby case briefs. But this was my little format. When you're asked to do a case brief, you'll want to put the case name, the facts of the case, what is the issue that you're looking at, what's the rule that applies to that issue, and then what is the holding. And that terminology refers to what was the judicial reasoning for what they decided. Every case that you're reading in law school is actually some kind of appeal in general. You're reading about an appeal that took place. There was something that happened in lower courts. They appealed to higher court. And so whether it's literally in some kind of appeals court, or if it's the Supreme Court or your particular state's court, these are appeals courts. And that's the kind of cases that you're reading. So you're going to hear what a lower court did. It's gotten appealed to this one. And then the holding is what the judiciary in that court, what they thought, their process of thinking to get to the decision they made. Often there's going to be a dissent. Especially when you're talking about Supreme Court cases, you'll read about dissent. So I make a line for that and just erase it if there's no dissent. And then the judgment, like what was their ultimate thing? Sometimes they remand it to the previous court. Sometimes they affirm. Sometimes they just flat out overrule. Whatever that judgment is, you write that. And depending on your professor, whatever professor you have, often they will tell you what kind of information they're going to be asking you for when they call on you about particular cases. And so like I had my torts professor always wanted to know what the procedural history was. So I included a line item in this that was for procedural history only in my torts class. But for the most part, this worked for most classes. Here you go. Professor gives a syllabus. There you go. I click on it. And it's going to open up my OneDrive and show me my syllabus. Well, you go down the syllabus. Let's scroll. Oh, boom, the syllabus schedule of assignments from the beginning of the school year. So I just go through the syllabus. I copy what those assignments are. And I go through and I pop them into each week. And this particular class meets on Mondays and Wednesdays. My professional responsibility class meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you'll see different days of the weeks listed for that. ProRes, y'all, so many rules. So I'm always popping in what the rules are here. Let's go back to the property class that I was in. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning. I've got a section, syllabus, Langdale's, all my weeks. Down here, this particular professor sends us the PowerPoints for each class, and he labels them by which particular class it was. And so I just have a section specifically for his PowerPoints that he sends us. And down here, this right here, the text from PowerPoints, I'm just now starting to take the text from each one of these PowerPoints. Look at this, y'all. I got to go through each one of those things. I've actually already done this particular one, but all the important stuff from his PowerPoints that I really need to remember, especially case stuff or his questions, his sample questions, all of that. I'm creating a master list of that. I need more time to do this kind of stuff. Anyway, I got started on it. That'll be for this coming weekend. Welcome to law school, y'all. My second biggest thing, I told you all the two things I was worried about. before law school. One was citations and the writing style kind of stuff, what I would need to do in law school. Number two was, how in the world am I going to organize all this? Like, how do I even take notes? I mean, there's all these different theories about how to take notes. Let me see if I can open this. Well, oh, I'm sharing. Stop sharing the screen. No. Yes, let me stop sharing the screen. There you go. I was so worried. Y'all, you can tell I'm not used to recording on Zooms, but I'm doing this for my YouTube fam. I was so concerned about how in the world I was going to keep everything organized, how to write notes. I got onto YouTube and looked up to see how other people took notes. And there's y'all, I'd have to go back and refresh my memory, but there's these different ways that you can take notes. A lot of people have theories regarding handwriting notes. It helps you remember better. I don't get into all the theory. What I know is that most of my professors, my very first semester in law school, required us to take handwritten notes. Only one professor would not allow a computer or a computer in class. He did, however, allow iPads as long as you were using a stylus. The whole point was that you were handwriting your notes. As soon as I could get away from handwriting a note, I did. I just did, y'all. I'm sorry. I still take a little notebook to class with me just in case, but it is such a time saver to just go ahead and directly put in the notes right onto the computer while I'm in class. I do personally take time to make note cards. I like to write out note cards for studying. I feel like just the process of writing it out does help me remember, but I have found that doing so while I'm studying for finals is plenty. The time that it takes to do that in class, there's just stuff that I'm missing. I am taking notes just on what I'm hearing and kind of collectively putting it together to write out from what a professor just said that I need to know. But a lot of what you need to know in law school is specifically exactly what the professor just said. So I don't know. I mean, you'll have to figure it out yourself once you get there, what works best for you. That's kind of the thing in law school across the board. The way people study and a lot of different things works different for different people. Some people are auditory learners, others are visual learners. You know, it's just different for each person. You're going to find out what works best for you. But for me, as much as I can, just on the computer, that's what I do. It also keeps me from having to lug really heavy books to class because I get every textbook that I need online, if possible. And Aspen Publishing is a big publisher in the law school world. Thomas Reuters. And anyway, these publishers offer most textbooks in online versions now, and you can highlight even in those versions and that kind of thing. And it just allows me to grab a computer and just go to class. And I have my textbook and I can type my notes, everything just right there on that computer. And it saves my back, y'all. It saves my back. But for that first semester, I took notes. Let me see if I think I probably put them all away, y'all. I should have prepped better for y'all for this. Oh, you know what? I think that the notebook that I just brought here. I'll be right back. You can see me in my hot messness. I think I probably stopped doing this kind of note. Yeah, I stopped taking notes. I took notes a certain way my first semester. Oh, there we go. This is a little bit of example of how I took notes the first semester. I did this thing where I would draw a line down the spine like that. And I would actually take the notes. This was an actual case brief. Facts, issue, holding. I didn't even do a full case brief. Normally you would do the facts, the rule, the issue, the holding, the judgment. I didn't even do that. You can tell I was getting lazy by my second semester. but I drew the line, and this allowed me, like, I would do all this, but then during class, while we're going through a case, I had that space where I could just write extra notes. And that was honestly, that worked really well for me. I did my torts class that way. And I kind of came up with little systems of how to bullet point things. I know this is all backwards right now, but it's just infinitely, I mean, y'all, going back, trying to read my own handwriting. That's the other thing. I'm sorry. I have a 52-year-old woman. I may as well be a doctor. Cannot read my handwriting. I used to have beautiful handwriting. Yeah. So it's just a much better thing to do everything on the computer for me. But figuring out how to organize my life was the biggest thing. And OneNote was the best answer for me. Just the best answer. Let me go back to sharing my screen. Share my screen again. For instance, right here in my personal notes. Here, let's go ahead and delete this while I'm here. Delete section, because we don't need that. Scheduling. I've been working on my schedule for the rest of my year. And so this is going to be my spring schedule. Today, I was talking with my friends as we were leaving class just now. And one of them was like, what are you taking next semester? Boom, pulled up in my phone really quickly, pulled up my OneNote and was like, okay, here's my classes. These are the professors that I'm about to have. So it's so great. I'm doing Prague this summer, study abroad, and I've started putting information. I started pulling up info for hotels and that kind of stuff of what we're going to do. So I definitely use it personally. I am actually planning, just in case you're wanting to know, I'm going to be doing a global lawyering seminar, and I am planning to do international law of armed conflict. It actually sounds like a very interesting course when I looked it up. So, all right. I think that is all I have to share. So many of you wanted to know about the OneNote organization and how I do it. I know I'm a hot mess, y'all. I just got out of my class and it's a Monday. You're looking at me being very Monday. Here, I'm going to show y'all something real quick though. See my sweatshirt? It's got onigiri on it. I love it. Japanese rice balls. And I got it from a YouTuber, Sunday Love, who I love. She lives in Japan. Sunday was she was a contestant on America's Top Model years ago. I think she said she's the shortest contestant that's been on there. But anyway, Sunday's amazing. She's a beautiful young girl. And, you know, me with all my Japan connection stuff. So I'm wearing my Sunday Love Mood Global onigiri sweatshirt today, but definitely having a Monday in law school, y'all. Let me know if this was helpful. I know I'm kind of a hot mess, y'all. I said that so many times, but I am. Welcome to law school life. But I highly recommend using OneNote to organize your law school life, if at all possible. Let's see here. Oh, I got to get myself up. Anyway, all right. I'll try to post this for y'all today. As always, feel free to ask me any questions. I do have some other things. I told you my next video was going to be telling you about reverse study. Y'all don't even know about reverse study, so you don't know to ask about that question, but I will get to it eventually. And I know that several of you just want to know about the applying to law school process. I will get to that eventually. Right now, that's out of my flow of consciousness, if you will, because I'm gonna have to go back to the LSAC site, LSAC site. If you're not there, you need to go to your LSAC site, go ahead and get an account and go ahead and start signing up to take your LSAT test. And once you sign up there, there's just so much information on the LSAC site. Like every question that you're asking me, the answers are on that LSAC site, LSAC. That's where you need to go. I will do a video for you, but I'm just sending you there now because the answers are 100% there. So, all right, y'all have a blessed week. Oh, someone was asking how to find me on social media. My name is Vanessa Maddox. Here on YouTube, I'm Vanessa Max. That's kind of a name that I've gone by in the entertainment industry for years, Vanessa Max, but I am Vanessa Maddox. That is how I am known. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. I don't do TikTok. I don't know what the others are, but anyway, Vanessa Maddox, spelled really odd, Maddous. You can find me there. Love to have you. I do stories every day in my life. So, and I talk about law school there. All right. Y'all have a blessed week, and I'll see you when I can post again.